There's no way to interpret this other than this is bullish for Bitcoin and is bullish for the entire US crypto industry.
Something wild is happening in cryptocurrency because with the world on notice that Donald Trump doesn't just want a U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve, he wants altcoins.
He says that this new national crypto reserve will include Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a trio of high volatility tokens, Solana, XRP, and Cardano. He's calling it a move to elevate the industry after what the president described as years of corrupt attacks under the Biden administration.
Altcoin Daily was one of the first channels to cover this news on a Sunday. Click subscribe for an edge investing in crypto. And while pretty much all the gains of this announcement on Sunday have since retraced, and everybody again is calling for lower prices.
Everybody thinks the market's headed lower.
Yes, but instead we could be bottoming, maybe this week.
Watch today's whole video as expert Tom Lee explains why this most recent crash is a trap.
So from here on out, you think we bottomed? Have we seen the lows already?
Again, watch today's whole video, but even Bitcoin-only Michael Saylor gives his updated thoughts on a crypto strategic U.S. reserve.
Were you surprised that in the announcement over the weekend, the president mentioned other smaller coins like XRP, Solana, and Cardano, as well as Bitcoin for the strategic crypto fund?
I'm not surprised. I mean, I think there's no way to interpret this other than this is bullish for Bitcoin and is bullish for the entire U.S. crypto industry. You know, there are conservatives that view the right path forward as just a Bitcoin-only policy because Bitcoin is a commodity, an asset without an issuer, a neutral asset, and there's no controversy. But the president's adopted a more liberal economic policy, and that's his right. He's president of the United States.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you would have preferred it, though, if it was a Bitcoin-only fund.
You know, I believe that the best thing for the country is to move forward with an enlightened, progressive policy toward digital assets. I think it's worth $100 trillion to the United States, and ultimately there's four different assets that people need to come to grips with. A digital commodity like Bitcoin, an asset without an issuer, backed by digital power. A digital currency like a stable coin backed by a fiat currency equivalent. A digital security, an asset with an issuer backed by a stock or a bond so we can tokenize Wall Street. And then a digital token, which is an asset with an issuer that's backed by digital utility. I think everybody's trying to come to grips with that taxonomy. And as the market gets more educated, we're going to see more progressive, constructive policy.
I think Michael Saylor summed that up perfectly, that the innovation here is not just Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a commodity. Bitcoin is fundamentally different. But the right digital asset policy is a $100 trillion opportunity for the United States. If they're just focused on Bitcoin, then they're losing a lot of this opportunity. But then again, why is crypto crashing? Why have all the gains been erased? Well, first off, I have to share with you this, because while many of you know, if you watched my video from about 3 weeks ago, how I would invest $1,000 in cryptocurrency in 2025, I hold a lot of Solana. I hold a lot of Ethereum. The Altcoin Daily audience holds a lot of ADA and Solana and Ethereum. A crypto reserve would be great for our portfolios, but I do have to address two big things. Number one, I'm concerned about the US government picking winners. I personally do believe that the US strategic reserve should be just Bitcoin. Bitcoin is fundamentally different. It has solidified itself as the hardest money / digital gold. And don't get me wrong, I own many altcoins, and I believe in the long-term future of many altcoins. But why are we having the US government choose winners? Why should XRP and Solana make it in, but XLM, Sui, and Algo be left out? Have those winners already been decided? My fear in all this would be if somebody as big and with so much money as the United States chooses certain protocols, then not only will other nation states also choose those protocols, but all the developers will then choose those protocols as well. And it sounds great. That sounds awesome. If that happens, then we'll all make a lot of money if you've been subscribed to Altcoin Daily. But don't Sui and Algo deserve a shot too? Maybe let's have the free market choose. Let's start with Bitcoin. Maybe let's start with Bitcoin for the strategic reserve. Start with altcoins and tech stocks for the sovereign wealth fund. and we can always add more later. Comment down below if you think I'm off on this, or give me your honest thoughts. Either way, Michael Saylor lays out perfectly why Bitcoin's market cap is going to 20 trillion and then 200 trillion. That's about a 100x for Bitcoin from here.
The United States' best investments are Alaska, Mexico, California, and Louisiana, and Manhattan. We're still holding them hundreds of years later. It's a nation state. So presumably, you want to buy Bitcoin, you want to hold it for 100 years. You know where the future's going. The AIs, the foreigners, the Europeans, the 20th century capitalists, they're all going to cyberspace. And so the United States has the ability to buy this for a nickel and pay off the national debt. It'll be the greatest economic program of the 21st century for this country.
And how does that get funded?
We bought Manhattan for 60 guilders. It was a good trade. We bought Alaska for $6 million. It was a good trade. We paid $40 million for 75% of this country. It's a good trade. We can afford it. We should buy the future.
So either way, whether we get a just Bitcoin reserve or a full-on crypto reserve, whether the United States is just buying Bitcoin or buying Bitcoin and Solana and XRP and ADA and Ethereum, do not be fooled by short-term volatility to the downside. Also, I do just have to clear up, many people are accusing crypto czar David Sachs of just choosing his bag, meaning the coins that were chosen for the strategic reserve are just ones he holds. He confirmed as of yesterday, he sold all his cryptocurrency, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, prior to the start of being in the administration. He then got community noted, stating that while David sold his direct holdings, he still has large indirect holdings because he's an investor in Bitwise Asset Management, meaning he indirectly still benefits from the choosing of Solana, the choosing of Ethereum. David Sachs then clarifies, this community note is a lie. I had a $74,000 position in the Bitwise ETF, which I sold on January 22nd. I do not have large indirect holdings. I'll provide an update at the end of this ethics process. Anyway, anybody that says David Sachs just selected his own bag, I'd send them this, I'd give them the full context. Which brings us to our final question, why is crypto crashing? Well, it's because the stock market is in complete freefall today. What just happened? The Dow went from being up 300 points at the open to falling as much as 1,100 points in hours. Between 10 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the S&P erased a whopping $1.5 trillion in market cap. The market specifically began selling off when Trump said this today.
So we're going April 2nd, but very importantly, tomorrow tariffs 25% on Canada and 25% on Mexico, and that'll start. So they're going to have a tariff. So what they have to do is build their car plants, frankly, and other things in the United States, in which case they have no tariffs.
Meaning tariffs officially start tomorrow, a 25% tax on trade that slows trade, which slows the economy in the short term. Again, we went into full detail on this from my video a few days ago. The actual reason crypto will crash lower. Keep in mind, short-term volatility to the downside is just temporary.
Everybody thinks the market's headed lower.
Yes, but instead we could be bottoming, maybe this week.
And this is the choppiness you were talking about. And, you know, I think you use a combination of fundamentals and technicals, obviously,
yes,
to get things right. And the reason for the choppiness was going to be the first 100 days of this fire hose of executive orders and everything else.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of weighing on investors' minds. We're seeing it even in the surveys and CEOs because the tariffs and Doge are, you know, the Doge is creating austerity. Tariffs are creating uncertainty. Businesses are maybe sort of sitting on their hands. This is why I think markets have been sort of sinking and momentum has done so poorly. But to me, Friday was a good day because, you know, it was a bad news headline, but markets actually rallied.
Yeah, World War III is usually not a good headline.
So obviously all of this is an ongoing story. The minute I get new information, I will keep you updated. And by the way, often on X, linked down below, we update you on the latest altcoin news. Just in, Ondo Finance has surpassed $1 billion in total value locked, meaning even though price of all crypto, of all stocks, of all investable assets, due to fear, uncertainty, doubt, of how the US is handling tariffs and macro and inflation and everything. Even though prices are going down, fundamentals for quality projects are increasing. Also, major partnership for Vechain, as explained by Dana White.
What's up, everybody? I just want to let you know Vechain and the VET token are now the new title partner of PowerSlap. PowerSlap events will be powered by Vechain. They are a world-leading public blockchain platform, and for the first time ever, I am happy to announce that PowerSlap events will now be live and free on YouTube worldwide. Thanks, Vechain.
And if nothing else, even if cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and altcoins are to crash lower in the short term due to macro, even though fundamentals are great, even if we do crash lower, to me, anything above, I would say $62,000 to $65,000 to me, because of all the support we've built up, even if we crash another 30% this low, that is still a higher low compared to where we were before Trump got elected back in November of 2024. So a higher low is bullish and a buying opportunity to me. Give me your thoughts down below. Like always, see you tomorrow.